Genres are the language of cinema. They tell us what to expect. A comedy should make us laugh. A horror film should make us afraid. A romance should make us feel love, or long for it. But genres are more than categories. They're reflections of what society wants, and sometimes what it needs. So why do some film genres dominate the screen year after year? Enjoying what you are watching? Scan the QR code to join our community while others vanish into history? Why do we live in an age of superhero sagas and psychological thrillers, but rarely see westerns, musicals, or war epics anymore? This is not just about Hollywood trends. It's about us, our fears, our fantasies, our changing values. This is why some genres thrive and why others fade away. Let's rewind. In the 1930s and 40s, during war and economic collapse, musicals thrived. They offered escape, pure, glittering escapism. Audiences didn't want realism. They wanted fantasy, a dance number, a love song, a world without rationing or war. At the same time, film noir took hold. Gritty crime dramas drenched in shadow, moral ambiguity, and cynicism. Because while musicals distracted, noir revealed. It told people, you're not crazy for feeling bleak. Two genres, side by side. One hopeful, one haunted. Both thriving, because the world needed them. Jump to the 1950s and 60s. Westerns ruled. Cowboys, lawmen, frontier justice. They weren't just stories about the past. They were myths about identity, about what it meant to be American during the Cold War. But genres like the Western relied on clear heroes and villains, good guys in white hats, bad guys in black. And then the 1970s happened. Watergate, Vietnam, civil rights. The lines between right and wrong got blurry. Suddenly, people didn't want the cowboy. They wanted the anti-hero. They wanted Taxi Driver, The Godfather, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Genres that once dominated fell out of sync with the culture, because a genre only survives if it can evolve. And if it can't, it fades. Let's look at romantic comedies. They exploded in the 90s and early 2000s, when Harry Met Sally, Notting Hill, 10 Things I Hate About You. They reflected a world of optimism, of big city dating, meet-cutes, and grand gestures. But then came the internet. Dating apps. Economic shifts. A generation with rising loneliness, but also rising awareness of emotional complexity, gender roles, and power dynamics. The rom-com formula, neat, cute, heterosexual, white, started to feel off. And so the genre didn't disappear. It stalled. Only to slowly reemerge, redefined. With films like Crazy Rich Asians, The Big Sick, and Palm Springs, rom-coms started embracing diversity, mental health, nuance, and now they're making a comeback because the genre evolved. But some genres don't. The war epic, once a staple of cinema, has all but vanished. Why? Maybe it's because modern audiences are less moved by glorified battlefields. Maybe it's because war no longer feels distant or abstract, but personal, complicated, and constant. Or maybe it's because we now question the narratives of heroism we once accepted without thought. And then, there are the genres that won't let go. Like superhero films, they dominate the box office. They shape global pop culture. They've become mythology for a generation raised on shared universes, origin stories, and chosen ones. But even this genre isn't immune. Audiences are beginning to show signs of fatigue. Too many sequels, too little risk. And so even superheroes now face an identity crisis. To survive, the genre must evolve, or else join the ranks of those that once ruled and then disappeared. Because here's the truth. No genre is guaranteed permanence. They rise when they answer a cultural need. They fall when they stop speaking to the times. Genres thrive on tension between tradition and reinvention, between audience comfort and audience surprise. The horror genre survives because it constantly transforms. From slashers to psychological dread to elevated horror like Hereditary and Get Out, it adapts to new fears, racism, grief, isolation. and forces us to face what we'd rather avoid. Sci-fi, too, survives because it's elastic. It can be about space, AI, pandemics, or surveillance. It evolves with our imagination and our anxiety. And documentary? Once niche, now exploding. Because in a world of fake news and online chaos, people crave truth, or at least the feeling of it. In the end, genres are not static. They're alive. They breathe with us, fail with us, change with us. They are shaped by who we are, and they fade when they stop trying to understand us. So the next time you wonder why a genre disappeared, don't just ask what happened to it. Ask what changed in us. Because cinema doesn't just tell stories. It tells us who we were, who we are, and sometimes who we still want to be. Genres don't live in isolation. They aren't born in a vacuum. They're shaped by the world around them and the people watching. And in today's world, that audience is global, connected, and constantly evolving. Once, a genre's success was decided in a handful of cities: Hollywood, London, maybe Paris. Now, a film made in Seoul can spark a genre shift in New York. A Netflix miniseries from Spain can redefine global crime thrillers. A Bollywood romance can influence wedding culture on another continent. Genres are now shaped by global voices. Take Korean cinema. Once considered niche in the West, it's now a force that's reshaping entire genres. With films like Parasite and Train to Busan, Korean filmmakers fused horror, drama, comedy, and social critique into something bold, complex, and unpredictable. They proved that genre boundaries can be blurred, even erased, and in doing so, they inspired others to do the same. In India, regional cinema is reshaping the classic Bollywood formula, blending traditional melodrama with gritty realism and genre experimentation. In Nigeria, Nollywood is exploding with fresh takes on soap operas, crime, and folklore horror, uniquely local yet universally resonant. In short, genre no longer belongs to the West. It never did. We're just finally catching up. And while culture reshapes genre, so does technology. Streaming platforms have changed everything. Once, genres had to appeal to mass audiences in crowded multiplexes. Now, niche thrives. Algorithms don't care about tradition. They care about engagement. They surface genre mashups that would have failed in theaters, but flourish online. Rom-coms with time loops, sci-fi westerns, teen horror musicals. These once weird combinations are gaining ground because there's room for them now. And more than ever, data is driving what gets made and what gets left behind. But there's a paradox in that. When everyone watches what the algorithm suggests, genres can become diluted, formulaic, and trapped in a feedback loop. We get the same teen dystopia, the same true crime format, the same gritty reboot of the same IP, over and over again. So while tech opens the door, it also tests the limits of originality. And here's the twist. The audience is no longer just a consumer. You are the algorithm. You are the green light. You are the new genre engine. With every click, stream, review, TikTok reaction, or meme, you're shaping what thrives next. We've entered the era of the interactive audience. Want proof? Look at how Barbie wasn't just a movie. It was a meme movement, a color palette, a cultural moment shaped by the people watching, remixing, and reclaiming it. Or how fandoms push studios to resurrect old genres, like the Snyder Cut, turning gritty superhero deconstruction into an epic genre of its own. Audiences aren't just watching, they're curating. They're demanding representation, calling out cliches, rewarding risk, and that means genres have to respond. Fast. The horror genre has always adapted this way, because it listens. To fear, to trauma, to what keeps us up at night. That's why it survived. Now, all genres face the same challenge. Can they listen? Can they evolve without losing their soul? Because at the end of the day, genres are only as relevant as the audience they serve. And today's audience wants more than tropes. They want truth. They want experimentation. They want to be surprised, but also seen. So if a genre wants to live, it has to move forward, not just with the times, but with the people. Enjoyed what you just watched? Scan the QR code to join our community. Scan the QR to join the community.